And welcome to the Hot Seat of College Football Show. I am Trent, your host, as today I'm going to go over my preseason SEC quarterback rankings number 16 all the way up to number 1. Let's talk about it. All right, so before we get into this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're at 227, trying to get to 230. We're 3 away. If you want to help us get there, it would be amazing. Also, if you enjoyed today's show, please hit the like button. It helps you to promote the show. If you leave a comment down below, let me know who you think is the best quarterback in the SEC and what team is, what's your favorite team. Is it your favorite? Is it your rival's quarterback? Is it your own team's quarterback? Let me know down in the comments. And when we get more discussion, YouTube promotes it in the algorithm. That's how we grow the show. So yeah, I'm gonna go 16 through 1. I did my Big Ten power rankings and I did 1 to 16, and I got some feedback that I think 16 to 1 is better. It just means that, I mean, less people are going to see people click off the later we get in this video. But we're going to start off at 16, which March Madness is on. I got Texas Purdue up right now. Texas, the last Cinderella left. But at 16, I think I'm going to go Jared Curtis from Vanderbilt. Yes, he is a 5-star, but he's a true freshman. Remember, he is the flip from Georgia to Vanderbilt, and he's the only one who has not thrown a single pass in college football, so I got to have him at the bottom, even though he's a 5-star. And yeah, replacing Diego Pavia, a Heisman finalist last year, is going to be a big challenge, but they're bringing in a 5-star. Who would have thought a 5-star quarterback at Vanderbilt? So I got Jared Curtis at 16. At 15, I have George McIntyre, the quarterback who we think is going to start at Tennessee. He's only thrown 69 passing yards, but even though he is a true freshman, he is 6'6". And obviously we saw Nico being a really, really tall guy. I think he's, 6'5", to play pretty well in a Josh Heupel offense. So I definitely think, who was their quarterback last year? The guy who transferred from App State. What was his name? How am I forgetting his? The season's been over for months where I'm starting to forget all of the 1-year transfers names. Joey Aguilar. Yes, Joey Aguilar. G5 Joey. Josh Heupel made him look really good. He played well. But yeah, I think George McIntyre can be good. There were some talks about him playing last year as a true freshman. And then they obviously brought in Joey Aguilar. And even though I definitely think he can maybe thrive better than being the second worst quarterback in the SEC, just for now, out of pure talent. And yes, part of this is some of these quarterbacks that are lower on this list have better upsides in NFL measurables, but this is college football, not the NFL. It's not the draft. It's not the combine. And I'm looking for best. Who would I want? Who do I trust to be the veteran on the team that has played and showed the most in college? And even though I think George McIntyre could eventually be that, just for right now, that's why I got him at 15. At 14, I got Aaron Filio, the quarterback that we think is going to start for Florida. Again, another freshman. The quarterback battle has not been decided at Florida yet, but he's thrown 373 passing yards, a touchdown and a pick. And we'll see what Summerall can do at Florida. Obviously, the offense at Tulane was all right, but we'll see what he can do at Florida. And I think Florida's going to be terrible this year. They're going to need a lot of time to reset. But I think in the next couple of years, I think they definitely could get back to SEC kind of playoff relevance, especially in the 12 team. At 13, I got Kamario Taylor out of Mississippi State. He threw 623 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, and a pick. If you looked at what happened last year with Blake Shapen, and then in the second half of the year when they changed quarterbacks, it was still pretty good. Mississippi State was definitely, they had a good ground game. I definitely think Kamario Taylor can definitely do that for them. Definitely a dual threat guy. And even though I don't think Mississippi State is going to be great, they made a bowl game last year with a losing record, they got blown out by Wake Forest. So we'll see. Again, kind of still in the bottom barrel of the SEC. At 12 and up is where I think we got some life going. I have Kenny Minchey, the quarterback in Kentucky, now is head coach Will Stein. Great offensive mastermind from Oregon. He transferred from Notre Dame, 196 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. I'm trying to remember. I think he was the one that came in for Riley Leonard in that Penn State game. It wasn't CJ Carr. It was Kenny Minchey. Or maybe it was the one who went to Syracuse. I forget. But, I mean, I think he definitely did play a little bit his freshman year. And I definitely think under Will Stein, I think he definitely could be pretty good. I trust a lot of the quarterbacks under Marcus Freeman, so I definitely think anything coming from there is going to be pretty damn good. So, yeah, that's at 11. At 10, I have Austin Simmons at Missouri. Last year at Ole Miss, he had 744 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Only played in 5 games, only started 2. Obviously, he was starting for Ole Miss. They had the injury. Trinidad came in, and then Trinidad was amazing. So, yeah, he goes to Missouri to replace Bo Pribula, who was at Penn State the year before in 24, looked pretty good before he got injured at Missouri. So, I definitely like what Austin Simmons can do. When you could say he looked bad after he got benched and they brought him in for a couple games. I mean, yeah, he's not hot. He was coming off an injury. He's coming in for a couple snaps during a game. He's not going to play the best. But I definitely think he can be good under a drink. So, yeah, I got him at 10. At 9, I got Byron Brown out of Auburn, transferred with him and Alex Golish from USF to Auburn after Hugh Freeze got fired. Last year, he had 3,158 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Remember, they beat ranked Boise State. They blew him out the first game of the year. And he also had 1,000 yards on the ground with 14 rushing touchdowns. He was one of the best, maybe the best dual threat rushing quarterback in the country. I guess I don't even say he's a dual threat because he didn't have even though he had 3,000 passing yards, did not have a great arm, but was electric on the ground. And I definitely think that Auburn could be a scary team, especially for some of their home games against big teams. They could definitely beat some good teams. At 8, I got Keelan Russell from Alabama. True sophomore year. Last year had 143 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. Only played in those 2 the FCS game against, was it Eastern Illinois or the FCS team they played, and then he played against Louisiana Monroe, and that's where most of his stats came in. So yeah, he was the second best quarterback behind Bryce Underwood and then ahead of Tavian St. Clair. And I definitely think he's better than Bryce Underwood. I think Keelan Russell could be a star. We'll see if he can beat out Austin Mack. Again, the quarterback battle has not been fully decided for Alabama, but I assume because of the dual threat ability, they're going to go with Keelan Russell instead of Austin Mack. And I'm excited. I mean, Keelan Russell he's not the Michael Penix. He's more of the Jalen Milroe kind of build, but I definitely think he's more accurate than Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe had a great deep ball, but wasn't great in the intermediate stuff. So, yeah, I got him at 8. At 7, I got Lenore Sellers out of South Carolina, and this is the first quarterback on here that regressed the year before. I mean, Austin Simmons kind of regressed, but Lenore Sellers was great his freshman year. Had 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and had a couple of rushing touchdowns. This past year, only had 2,437 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. So there was a little bit of regression, and we saw that. South Carolina went 9-4, and then this year they went 4-8. So, I mean, they obviously went backwards, but I definitely think in this junior year and this money year, I think South Carolina is bought in. They have him, but they have their quarterback, Lenore Sellers, back in his last year. They have the 99 speed, Evan Stewart. No, that's from Oregon. What's his name? That's a different receiver. Nick Harbor. I'm thinking of Nick Harbor. 99 speed Nick Harbor back. What I was thinking of is they have the edge rushers, Dylan Stewart. That's why I got mixed up. Again, it's been a little while since football's been here. Dylan Stewart, the edge rusher, is, we think, his final year. So this is definitely the money year for South Carolina. I think South Carolina can definitely be good, but I want to kind of see it first. Their head coach, Shane Beamer's he said at the end of last year that this time next year, we'll be having our name heard on selection day for the playoffs. So I got him at 7. At 6, I got Marcel Reed out of Texas A&M. Last year, 3,169 passing yards, 25 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Had a great year. Went to the playoffs at Texas A&M. Lost to Miami at home 10-3. Kind of a bad loss. Was bad weather, and then the way you lost at the very end and the goal line was not great if you're an A&M fan. But this past year, great dual threat guy. Was getting out of Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor tackles constantly in that game. The only problem is, again, he's just not mature enough. He's a younger player. He'll be in his junior year this year, and we'll see. I mean, that LSU game, even though they dominated in the second half with like 35 unanswered points, I mean, they were losing at halftime because Marcel Reed threw a pick six and kept fumbling. So he definitely needs to mature in that, especially what we saw against Texas and Miami. 2 back-to-back losses and bad performances from him. He needs to step up when playing the biggest competition. But I definitely think he is good. I like Mike Elko. I like that Cravers coming back, and then you're also getting, I think, the receiver from Bama is it Isaiah Horton, I think. But you're getting help from the transfer portal, so we'll see. Replacing Concepcion will be tough, but I definitely like where Marcel Reed and Texas A&M is. Even though I think Marcel Reed has higher upside than Arch Manning is 2-0. I guess 1-0. But yeah, I got Arch Manning at 5 out of Texas. Again, a guy that was number 1 in the entire country, regressed. And Joel Klatt just did his all college football draft where you can draft even players that are ineligible like Jeremiah Smith. He had Arch Manning over Jeremiah Smith and Julian Sand. Arch Manning, who was the reason why he came back was because he was unplayable. I know there were some talks about he was going to come back to college either way, but I mean, if he would have gone, he would have still been the first overall pick. The Heisman winner, he was god-awful, and he got better in the second half of the year, but even in that A&M game, in the Michigan game, in the bowl game, he's wildly inaccurate. So I got him as the 5th best quarterback in the SEC. Last year had over 3,000 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Also had a bunch of touchdowns on the ground, but I only got him at 5. At 4, I got Gunnar Stockton out of Georgia, senior year, one of the most veteran quarterbacks in the entire SEC. My only problem with him is he just doesn't have a lot of upside, but he's a good player. He's definitely on the ground. He can extend plays. Last year had 2,894 passing yards, 24 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. In that Ole Miss game, he played amazing aside from the very end at the goal line where they were forced for a field goal instead of getting a touchdown. But, I mean, obviously that's what it is. I definitely think he was great. Don't think he's going to get much better this year, but I definitely think that he has a ton of veteranship that he's going to bring to this Kirby Smart offense. So I got him at 4. At 3, and a guy that really regressed, especially halfway through last year, that I am banking on taking a big step this year, especially hoping that he stays healthy, is John Mateer out of Oklahoma. Last year, under 3,000 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. The year before at Washington State, 29 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. So definitely played better there. Yes, it was weaker competition than the SEC, but still, before the injury, he was amazing. He was supposed to be everything that Fernando was supposed to win the Heisman. This year, definitely think he can. He is going to have to step up because the Oklahoma offensive play calling last year in the past couple of years has really kind of been abysmal. But I definitely think that he has a lot more upside on the ground than Gunnar Stockton, which is why I have him at 3. At 2, I have Sam Leavitt from LSU, transferred from Arizona State the year before. Last year, he only played in a couple games because of injuries, had 1,600 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. But in his freshman year, you did have Scatterboo, but you had 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He played the entire year that year. This year didn't play in all of them, but man, you're going to be under a Lane Kiffin offense, so I got to have you high, and that's why I got him at 2. Definitely think that LSU, with having the best transfer portal class, is definitely going to get a lot of help at receiver, and especially bringing a lot of the players that were at Ole Miss the year before. So there'll definitely be some connection between them and their head coach. So that brings me to number 1, and potentially this guy might not even be playing. I don't know. It's back and forth. I think he's playing, but I have Trinidad Chambliss from Ole Miss last year. 3,937 passing yards was a drive and a Hail Mary away from going to the national championship and his first year in the FBS after coming after a national championship win at Ferris State in D2. Had 22 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 8 rushing touchdowns. He played the entire year except for the first, I think, 2 games of the first game. So played in 13 games. So definitely had a lot of playing time. And he was electric last year. If you watch that Georgia game, him spinning out of tackles, I was so happy watching that game because that was the first time in years that we saw. I remember like college football after 22, or after 21 when Georgia won it with that defense, really became a defensive league. But if you remember all the games from the 2010s and then the early 2020s, the first couple of years, 2021, man, offenses were amazing. And watching that Trinidad Ole Miss game, remember, Golding was the head coach, his second time being head coach after beating Tulane. It was spectacular. So I got to have him at number 1. I've already done a video on my top 10 quarterbacks in the Big Ten and in the entire country. I do not think I'm going to be doing one for the Big 12 or the ACC. If you really want me to see it, let me know, but I doubt I'll be doing that. But yeah, those are my rankings. I got Jared Curtis 16 for Vanderbilt, George McIntyre out of Tennessee at 15, Aaron Filio at Florida at 14, Kamario Taylor out of Mississippi State at 13, KJ Jackson at Arkansas at 12, Kenny Minchey from Kentucky at 11, Austin Simmons at Missouri at 10, Byram Brown from Auburn at 9, Keelan Russell from Alabama at 8, Lenore Sellers from South Carolina at 7, Marcel Reed out of Texas A&M at 6, Arch Manning out of Texas at 5, Gunnar Stockton at Georgia at 4, John Mateer out of Oklahoma at 3, Sam Levitt at LSU at 2, and then Trinidad Chambliss at Ole Miss at 1. So that is my list. Thank you guys so much for watching, as I'm going to go ahead and keep finishing watching this Texas-Purdue game. Currently, Texas is leading 21-20 in the first half. But again, that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed today's show, please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 230. We're 3 away. Also, hit the like button if you enjoyed today's show. It really helps me and helps you to promote the show to new people. But again, that's all I have for you guys today. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. And as always, thank you.